Hello there, my name is JeJe Noval and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and faculty at Loma Linda University. Welcome to another episode of Chat and Chew. And as always, I'm privileged to have 4 amazing dietetic graduate students with me today, and I would like for you to get to know them. But before I introduce them to you, our episode today is about exercise nutrition, and I will later on tell you what the title of their episode is. All right, so we have a lot of great information in store for you. But first of all, let's get to know Anique Cornejo. Anique, where are you from?
So I'm from Yucaipa, California, which is only about 15 minutes away, so I'm very local.
Very local. And you are already a registered dietitian, right?
Yes, that is correct. I passed my boards in September of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. What are your plans short term, like as a dietitian?
Well, currently I work at a hospital in San Bernardino.
Oh, wow.
Already as a clinical dietitian, so I'm going to start there and see where life takes me. But so far, so good.
Exciting. Great. All right. And next to her is Olivia Meza. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
Where do you come from?
I'm from Hemet and born and raised there, and so it's just like 45 minutes from here.
Yeah, okay. But that's still a little drive, huh?
It is a little drive, yeah.
Oh, wow, 45 minutes. So why did you choose Loma Linda University to obtain your education from?
I chose Loma Linda because I wanted to go more of a clinical base instead of, I had some other options out of state, but they're more public health. So I really wanted to focus on clinical, and then with just Loma Linda being its name, I really wanted to just be a part of that.
Nice. So nice to hear. Thank you. And the only male in this group here is Michael Moe. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hi. Where do you hail from?
I'm from Temple City, California, so it's about an hour away from here.
Ooh. So you drive quite a bit of ways every
I have
day?
a house a little bit closer than that.
Oh, you do? Okay, very good. So what is your long-term goal once you have the RDN after your name? What is your goal once you have that behind you?
Ideally, I'd like to work with a sports team, either professional or collegiate.
Nice.
That's the long-term goal.
Okay, I love hearing that. Wonderful. And last but not least, we have Kristen Muzio. Did I say your last name correctly?
Muzio, yes, very good.
Okay. Yay. Okay, Kristen, where do you come from?
I'm from Temecula, California, so just about an hour south from campus. It's far away, but not too far away from home.
Okay, yeah, very good. And so my question to you is, well, I'm going to throw it at you too, the question that I asked Olivia, why Loma Linda University?
I chose Loma Linda because of their perspective on whole person care. I think that nutrition is really important for proper health, but also caring for the whole person and your mental and spiritual health as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody sharing. And, you know, our show is called Chat and Chew, but they decided to call their episode Chat and Chews, right? Did I say
Exercise nutrition.
Exercise nutrition and exercise nutrition at the end. Okay, my bad on that one. And well, before we talk about exercise nutrition, I just want to mention that all of them here work out pretty much intensely, right? Yeah, so Kristen, what do you do for exercise?
I focus mostly on strength training.
Excellent.
And throw in, you know, some cardio in there as well, just to keep the heart healthy.
Perfect. And you do that on a regular basis,
Yes.
right? What about the 3 of you?
We do CrossFit. We all go to the same gym, actually, just like kind of down the street here, called Block CrossFit.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. We get enough of each other.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you don't. It seems like you're not tired of each other in the classroom, so it seems like you guys really enjoy each other's company. So even out of the classroom. Okay, so my first question to you, we're talking about sports, exercise, nutrition today, but how can proper nutrition help athletes, whether they be recreational athletes or elite athletes?
You know, there are some specific concerns for those regarding nutrition for those that do exercise regularly. Of course, in addition to your proper health, no food item or supplement should be taken that's going to harm your present or future health. But when a person is exercising, they are going through what's called an intentional injury. So by tearing those muscle fibers, which is the goal with trying to build muscle mass and build strength, but it does create some kind of inflammation. So there are a few different things to consider when choosing food items for those individuals that are exercising.
Okay.
So the goal of sports nutrition is to, first of all, help provide the proper energy, to last them through their exercise, to help them recover afterwards. That's another big focus for exercise nutrition, is to help with recovery and reduce inflammation. While inflammation is important for the body to help heal, long-term inflammation can lead to some chronic diseases. So this short-term inflammation that we see after exercise is fine, but we do also want to try to reduce that so that it's not long-term. Also important to help reduce injury too. Having proper hydration and proper nutrition and fueling before an exercise can help reduce the risk of injury.
Right.
Excellent. And so my next question to you all is, what should the focus be on before, like your meals before exercise and after? Is there a particular focus on those meals when you're eating?
So there is a little bit of a focus. Nutrition timing also comes into it. So if we're looking at a meal before we work out, ideally it's about 2 to 4 hours before we work out, and it should focus on carbohydrates.
Okay.
The carbohydrates prepare us for exercise, and it also prevents our muscles from wasting during the exercise. It should also be less than 25% fat in the total calories for that meal.
Okay.
After you exercise, ideally within 2 hours, you're getting roughly 20 to 30 grams of protein, because the protein's actually going to help rebuild those muscles,
There you go.
improve future performance, and help all around.
Nice. So you mentioned protein. Should athletes take a protein supplement?
They should take it if there are certain conditions that can be met. So
Okay.
if there's an issue with absorption, or they're not getting enough calories or protein in the meal already, then they can look at supplements. Ideally, we'd like to get most of the protein from food,
Right.
but if they are going to venture into supplements, then ideally they're looking for the ingredients and protein content. So in the ingredients, we don't want too many sugars or artificial sweeteners, anything like that. Ideally, the first couple of ingredients are either whey or soy protein.
Okay. And I'm going to throw an extra question in there because I know you know the answer to this. So what makes whey protein ideal?
So the protein in whey is a little bit more absorbable, just because it is that dairy base compared to a plant-based protein, but they're both high-quality proteins that can be absorbed well.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. And why is hydration especially important when people are exercising? Can't they just go through their workout and say, you know what, when I'm done, then I'll drink? Why is it so important to hydrate during the process?
So we really want to focus on just hydration overall throughout the whole day too. We don't want to just focus it around our workout time before or
Right.
after.
Nice.
Just being consistent so we're not thirsty. The biggest reason is to avoid dehydration, and that could be whether you're a serious athlete or a recreation athlete, or not working out at the time at all. We just want to keep you very hydrated because there is certain levels of dehydration. Severe dehydration can actually be very fatal. But just getting enough through before, after, and then during, just making sure you're drinking enough. Also, just your diet too. Incorporating fruits and vegetables that have a high water content, so maybe you don't have to drink as much water during the day. But I know personally for me, during the summer, it's easier to drink water because I'm thirsty, it's hot, it's refreshing.
Right.
Whereas in the winter when I'm freezing, it's a little bit harder for me to get water in because I'm drinking other things that are keeping me warm, other beverages. But during exercise, we really want to make sure we're sweating. So we want to replace that water that we're losing through the sweat and the electrolytes too as well that we may be losing.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my next question then. What about electrolytes? Why should we be concerned about that?
Electrolytes actually help function, keep a balance within the body that are for those working muscles and those tissues, especially with water too. Just keeping a good balance so that our cells are refreshed. We're having good GI motility and hydrating those joints as well. Just having a good balance overall of electrolytes like sodium, calcium, potassium, bicarbonate. Just having a good balance so that we actually feel energized when we're working out.
I'm going to add to that question because I know you guys know this question. So have any of you experienced, though, a workout or, yeah, you're doing some endurance activity and you weren't replacing the electrolytes? Has anyone experienced that, being dehydrated with less electrolytes on board?
I've definitely done that plenty of times. I'm an endurance runner, so yeah, there's been races where you just can't get enough water in, and they do supplements that either on the course or that I bring myself that I'm trying to replace. But at a certain point, if I'm not already hydrated or nourished enough, it's just really hard to even get those in. So that's making sure proper diet, making sure we're nourished and hydrated before we're going up to exercise is really important as well.
True. I know for me, maybe one of the marathons that I did, a full marathon, I can just remember, and I was hydrating, I thought. Maybe it wasn't enough, and I thought I was replacing with enough electrolytes, but obviously it wasn't enough, because when I had to stop to tie my shoelaces, I was like, oh my goodness, my legs are cramping. It was almost like I had to keep going to not feel the cramps, but I'm like, I didn't replace it as often as I should have, and I thought I was. So, yeah, there are some feelings with that you don't feel good while you're performing, and we want people to perform well when they're doing their exercises and their workouts. So, what specific vitamins and minerals should athletes focus on when they exercise?
So as part of, I work a lot with like the elderly population where I work. So the ones I wanted to focus on were as part of the aging process, which a physiological problem that occurs is low bone mineral density, known as osteoporosis.
Correct.
So this could lead to an increased risk of fractures, which at my hospital I do deal like with, I don't do the PT and OT, but a lot of patients come in having a fracture and, fallen from something. Another physiological problem is reduced skeletal muscle mass, which is known as sarcopenia.
Correct.
So two supplements that are important for these two diseases would be vitamin D and calcium to aid in bone reformation. Right. So what I try to teach my patients is calcium is an essential mineral, not to just build bones, but also keep them healthy, as well as vitamin D being important for bone health. For three main reasons, I like to tell them. One, it aids in the absorption of calcium in the gut. Two, it maintains the serum calcium and phosphate concentrations for normal bone mineralization. And three, it aids in the process of bone remodeling by the osteoclasts and osteoblasts. So I try to, teach them the importance of these, and as they're getting older, to reduce those risks.
Right. There you go. Because what you're talking about today, exercise nutrition, it's for everybody of all ages.
Yep.
And whether you're really young, middle age, or older, all of us here in front of you are very much big supporters of you need to keep moving throughout life. Exercise, yes, working out, and it could be whatever workout you feel is comfortable and best for you, that you enjoy doing. So I love that what you're presenting here today is not just for the young or the elite, but it's for everyone, young and old, because we want everybody to just enjoy being mobile. Yes. So thank you so much for your information, everyone. I'm going to step aside for a little bit. I'm going to give them the rest of the time to show you some great recipes in order to help your exercise workouts. So, okay, you guys take it away.
Great.
Okay.
So we are starting off with the pre-exercise snack. It's just going to be baked beets. Baked beets are very simple to make. All we have to do is combine the beet with some oil and bake it, and we are ready to go. So this has already been prepped and cleaned. We don't have to do anything else, but we want to take off the greens on top. We can use that at a different time, cooking it up like collards. We also want to take off the little stem on the end, and we can cut them into quarters to make it pretty easy. Let's just pop that back on there. So just for time's sake, I'm just gonna cut one side of it. And all we have to do is add it into a plastic bag here. And for 1 pound of beets, you have about 23 grams of carbohydrate, 4 grams of protein, and a little bit of the fat if you're adding in some olive oil. So with that 1 pound, you want to add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of olive oil. Let's just add it in there. That's close.
Say so.
And all we have to do is move it around a little bit so all of it's covered in oil.
I think I'm gonna try that at home. I always just use my hands, but putting in a bag
Yeah.
might be a lot
I do mine in a
safer,
bowl.
sanitary. Yeah.
Nice and clean.
Yeah.
Also, your hands don't get stained red
Exactly,
too.
by the bread.
So the reason beets are a good choice is that they are full of dietary nitrates, which get converted to nitric oxide. And that's not to be confused with nitrites, which are preservatives, which we want to try and avoid a little bit more. So after we're done with that, it's ready to go just like that. All we have to do is throw it into a cold oven, then we just turn it up to 400 degrees. Just for about 30 minutes. And as soon as that's done, then we can try them out. But for time's sake, we already have some prepared. So then, yeah, it's not the most beautiful presentation, but very simple and very easy to make at home. You guys want to try them out?
Can I try one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Feel free. So you can cut them into chips as well if you'd like to do that. You just may need to make them a little bit thinner so they're crispy. Otherwise, they might just get a little wobbly.
They're really good.
Good job, Michael.
Nice.
Thank you.
I never have baked beets ever. So I definitely want to try this.
Yeah, very good.
Very simple.
And beets are a nice side dish too. You can add it to any other kind of meal if you add your protein, of course, but focusing on a pre-workout snack, high in carbohydrates, like Mike said.
Yep.
So now that you are fueled for your exercise, as Olivia mentioned earlier, hydration is very important. And there are a lot of great hydration products that you can buy. But today I wanted to show you how to make your own hydration replacement at home. This is nice because it's free of added sugars and artificial coloring, and it's easy to make. You can always have it on hand, and you can kind of make it your own too with whatever ingredients you'd like to add. So what I have here is 32 ounces of water. You can also use like an infused water if you would like to do maybe cucumber and mint or berries, as well as another good mixture. But we will add, I have calcium magnesium powder here. I'm going to do half a teaspoon.
You don't want to do too much of the magnesium because that could cause a little bit of indigestion and diarrhea.
Exactly, Michael. This is a good amount to start out with. Again, this is 32 ounces of water. And see how your body tolerates it. Again, this is something that you can begin to drink before your exercise, during, and then also after. I don't recommend drinking it all at once for that reason, but if you spread it out over the time, my body does well with it at least, and you can kind of play with it as you go along.
You'd recommend doing this like on maybe on a training session too, before, like if you're going to try to do it before a race, just kind of test it out too, right?
Absolutely. Kind of a safe rule of thumb is don't try any new foods or drinks before game day or race day.
Yeah, right, yeah.
On your off season, on your training days, absolutely is the time to try this. And I did add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just to add some extra flavoring, extra sweetness, I chose agave, but you can use honey or stevia or the infused water as well will add some extra flavoring. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of agave. And to help these dissolve too, if you are making it kind of ahead of time to store in your refrigerator, you can warm the water too. It will help the salt and the calcium magnesium powder and the agave all kind of dissolve a little bit better in the water. I'm going to add just a half a lemon as well, add some more flavors. Again, you can make this your own at home. You can use maybe different beverages as a base. Orange juice is always a good base as well, just because it is often fortified with calcium and higher in magnesium as well. So I'm going to squeeze some of the lemon in there, seal it, and shake it.
I have to try this.
And again, make it your own with your own flavors. You guys want to try it out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're about to run today anyway.
Keep you guys nice and hydrated.
Hydrated for that.
I have to beat Michael's time.
It's guaranteed.
Perfect.
True.
Go, ladies.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
That's good.
actually, it tastes a lot like the supplements I buy, just not as sweet.
That is good.
So, yeah.
That is good.
And yeah, you can add more or less of your
Yeah.
sweetener. It is nice, the agave, adding a little bit of carbohydrate in there as well to help keep you fueled and through your workout as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to run.
Let's do it right now.
So as Kristen's cleaning up, I will go ahead and set up this. So after we are working out, we can go ahead and make a protein smoothie or a smoothie, just depending on kind of what you have. Let's try. Okay. So we start with a base. You can also, like Michael said, you could also use a supplement too as well if you'd like, either a ready-made mix or a powder. Here I have just some almond milk, but you can also use soy milk for that extra protein if you don't want to use a supplement. Yeah. So typically for me, what I do is I just, whatever's in the fridge that's a fruit, I put it in there. But blueberry and banana is one of my favorites, especially if you're doing more of an endurance workout. You get that potassium in there from the banana. And then blueberries, you have that antioxidant as well. So, and then depending on the season, blueberries, we're at the store, but it is winter, so in case they don't taste as good, you could always do like a frozen blueberry that's you get from the summer or that they pick during the summer, and then they always are pretty fresh. So then I'm gonna add some spinach to the mix. That's just, get some greens in there. I'm just gonna use my hands. And it kind of depends how much spinach you want, if you want to add more. And then here I have an assortment of different seeds and nut butters, and it kind of just depends on what you like to add. I personally like the new flavor of the pumpkin spice because it is seasoned, but you can also add some chia seeds for the omega-3s and a little bit more protein, or ground flaxseed. So I'm actually going to use some of the flaxseed. And you don't need very much at all. And then I also brought oatmeal too, in case you want extra, some of those good carbs, yeah, for your complex carbs, if you don't want so much of the fruit in there as well. So I actually have the other one in the fridge if you want to grab it for me. So to save time and to not be yelling at the camera, I already had made one this morning, and it is green from the from the spinach I added, and then just a little speckles of blueberry. So, yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna give it a try. What are you?
I'm ready to try it.
Want to try?
Yeah. I'll use the same glass.
Okay.
Hydrated and ready to go.
Yum. Glass. Thank you.
Thank you.
You wanna try some?
Sure. And the almond milk provides the calcium, like I was talking about earlier.
Oh, that's good.
Like Michael mentioned earlier, with the beets being a good source of dietary nitrites, spinach is also a very good source of dietary nitrites to help with vasodilation, also helps with anti-inflammatory and blood flow for recovery.
Cheers.
Oh, sorry. Cheers.
Cheers.
I got too eager. That's good.
Very good.
Really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Dr. Noval, would you like to come and try some?
You know, I was just waiting that looks wonderful. You know, my smoothie that I make is so similar to what you make. It's like the ingredients. I'm like, oh, I put that in, and
You either or. So if you want to just drink right out of the container.
drink yeah, true, because
Drink the fancy mason jar glass. The aesthetic.
ooh, yours tastes like a whole lot better than mine. It tastes yummy. I think it's because, what was the sweet thing that you put in here?
The banana.
The banana.
Oh, you
the
know what? You
banana.
put a whole banana.
I put a whole banana. Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's
Yeah.
putting the whole thing in. I only put half of one in, so
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, this
And
is a
actually, the
must.
blueberries I got from the store were actually pretty sweet too. They were so.
They did look good.
Yeah, they looked really well.
Never guess.
Wow. So for me, I make mine, and I do add a protein powder to mine,
Yeah.
which I know we can all do in different ways. And I have it after because I work out in the morning. So when I get back home, then I make this something very similar. So yeah. So when you guys work out, you probably make this though?
Yeah, I make something like this. I add protein powder just like you.
Okay.
And then I do
Yeah.
like some fruit and
Nice.
anything else in there. So.
And I know Michael mentioned the different protein powders. For me, I use a plant-based one, so it's like pea and I know that has less leucine, and the whey protein one has more leucine in it. It's an amino acid, and so for those who are really wanting that. The growth in size of their muscles, that's where leucine is very, very beneficial. Then for those of us who, we want muscle, we don't want to lose it, we don't want to run into sarcopenia, then I'm very satisfied with my pea protein powder, and it works well. And so
It's just interesting to see like different perspectives because I also
True.
use a plant-based protein. I
Okay.
really enjoy it,
Yeah.
but Michael will use a whey because we all
Right.
have, but we're all healthy and have just our
Yes.
different sources because I get other sources of protein as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I need a protein drink every day because I'm the type that I get full easily. So I agree with you, Michael, that we need to need to eat as much whole foods, get our nutrients from whole foods. But for some people like me, and I have reflux too, so if I eat too much in one sitting, then that sets my reflux off. So for people like me, it's like, that's why I have to do a protein supplement. But as you said, everybody needs different perspectives. So it works out that way. Yes, and let's see. I love the fact that, Olivia, you brought up hydration is not only something that we need to focus on for our exercise, but it really should be throughout the day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, in case you don't get enough water throughout the day, just eating those vegetables and fruits that are high in water content also can help
Yes.
replenish that. So.
Absolutely. And I noticed too, yes, when you're doing that, for those who work out after work or after school, some people are like, I'm just too tired to work out afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because they weren't hydrating well throughout the day, that at the end of work or school, they're feeling dehydrated. So they think they don't have energy to go work out, but it makes a big difference when you're hydrating.
Right. Yeah.
Throughout the day too, and of course eating well as we go throughout our day. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am so thankful for all the information that you shared. This was excellent. I know that you all practice this and you're preaching it, but you're practicing it. And so I wish you well on the rest of your journey, in your academic journey, your careers. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And remember, in order to live well, it's important to eat well.